Okay, what's next?
Mark Tulin, Lee County Electric, Florida. Is there any significant difference in performance between the garments that are, and I forget the terminology, applied after it's made or intrinsically built into the garment with regard to the fire rating?
That's a good question. You know, really the best way to do that is look at, do they both have an ARC rating? And they both do. There's a real complicated answer. There's a simple answer. And the simple answer is, if it's still FR, it's going to work for you. You just want something that's rated. You want it as close as you can to the hazard that you have. But the difference between an inherently flame resistant, which is they're commonly called, or treated, is usually depending on what somebody's selling. The people who are selling the treated FR will say, well, this is cheaper and it's more comfortable, and that's both true. The people who are selling inherently FR says, oh, you can't wash it out and it's going to last you longer, and that's probably true. But the reality is it depends on your situation. If you're a contractor and people are tearing up the clothing and it's going out the door as fast as it can, buy the treated stuff. If you're a non-contractor and your people are wearing their clothing for 4 and 5 years, you probably will come out more cost-effective in the long run with an inherent type material, but it may not be as comfortable. You've got to watch that. But the blends have totally changed all that now. And used to, you could say the cotton parts, the treated cottons were more comfortable and the inheritance felt horrible. Now, that's all kind of much more fuzzy than it used to be. But there's no real difference in their ARC performance. I've tested probably, we did 500 garments in the last few months for Brazil, and they came from every supplier in the U.S. and every supplier outside. I had 4 garments fail. All 4 of them were from a plant in Brazil. It was in treated cotton that was not treated properly. The stuff failed on the mannequin, but only 3 of the garments actually failed in the test as a garment. Even though I know the fabric was not FR, only 3 of the garments actually failed the test in the thing, because those treatments can be inconsistent. You don't have that. Any of the U.S. manufacturers of these fabrics, we don't have an inconsistent treatment problem. So that's the good news, is what you're buying is probably fine.
Jeff Vaughn, the Electric Cities of North Carolina.
I wondered who you were. I saw your name. Stand up. We a big old boy.
We're uncles.
I bet we are.
Monkeys, uncles.
But, all of my horse thief family is from North Carolina, by the way. So. Sorry. Friends of my family.
Yeah, mine's from Florida. So, but anyway. You talked about clothing, FR-rated clothing earlier, materials in particular. Cotton versus blend versus the Nomex. What were you speaking of when you were talking about the blends?
There are a lot of fabrics out now, and things have changed completely. I mean, this last year, our ARC testing went up 108%. So things are completely different than they were. When I first started this in 1994, there were 4 fabrics on the market that you would call ARC rated today. 4. Every single month we do 60 or 70 new fabrics. So there are so many blends of Nomex or Kermel or TechaSafe Plus is one of the good examples where they use lyocell, which absorbs 3 times its weight in moisture than cotton does. They put in a 3rd lyocell, and so a TechaSafe Plus feels like a cotton shirt, and yet it's inherently flame resistant. There's no treatment to it. So there's lots of different fabrics out there nowadays. All these fabrics have their upsides and downsides. So don't take it that, oh, there's much better than what I've got. You may very well like what you've got now. And if it works for you price-wise, and if it works for you comfort-wise, and it works for you durability-wise, that's the key. But there's so many new blends that are coming out all the time. The U.S. military has been doing some research. I helped develop a T-shirt for the U.S. military. They're using to combat the explosions from the IEDs. They use a T-shirt that you probably heard called today Dry Fire or Performance Wear. There's 2 different brands that are sold to the military. And all that stuff out there now is blends that are wicking moisture better and getting rid of the moisture better than the old stuff. And so, you know, it's a good idea to check out, put it in a wear trial in the middle of summer. Put it in a wear trial in the hottest part or the coldest part, depending on what your worst scenario is. What happens is the clothing companies come in, Will would not do this, but clothing companies come in, they give you the wear trial in the winter. So you don't really get to see what it's going to feel like. Put it on the hottest part of the year, put it on the meanest guy at the company, the nicest guy at the company, and a guy that nobody likes. And then get those 3 guys' opinion, and if they like it, that's probably the shirt you should go with. So a lot of blends of inherent materials now.